Alright, signal and train control rules, standards, instructions. Signal train control 7, the definition, subpart G. Learning objectives and achieve the regulation, engineering, design changes must be incorporated within the design on board signal system. Compliance information, please refer to Title 49 CFR Code of Regulation 236 rules stand within instructions subpart G. They recommend that each employee refer to the appropriate manual regulation. When dealing with any standard instruction manual for further guidance. 236-700 definition of the purpose of the rule stand with the instruction following the definition will apply. Application brake of the full strip of the application brake with the result of the continuous split reduction on the brake pipe of the pressure of the strip of the rate with a maximum brake with the cylinder pressure of the valve applied to automatic electro pneumatic brake with the speed governor for the control of the application of the emergency valve with the develop with the maximum brake cylinder pressure determined by the design brake equipment and for the speed at which the train is operating. Arm snap more the part of the step more signal the displaying aspect as if the blade fast and the spectral of the aspect of the appearance of the roadway signal conveying with the indication view direction of the approaching train with the appearance of the cab signal conveying with the indication viewed by an observer in the cab. Bar locking, a bar interlocking machine. The by locking dogs are attached. Bed locking, the parts of the interlocking machine contain with the hold of the taps locking bar. Cross locking dogs or other apparatus to the interlocking lever's blade. Step-more extent of the part of the step arm which show the position of the arm. Block, a length of the track with a defined limited view of the width of the train is governed by block signal. Cab signals are both. A block absolute with block in which the no train is permitted to enter while they are occupied by another train. Block latch, a lower extremity of the latch rod which engages the square shoulder of the segment with a quadrant to hold the lever in position. Bond rail joint, metallic connection with attached with the joining with the rail to ensure the electrical conductivity. Brake pipe, the brake running with the engine man's brake valve through the train unit of transmission with the air under pressure charge of the actuate the automatic brake equipment, the charge of the reservoir with the electro-pneumatic brake equipment on each vehicle of the train. Bridge movable, section of the structure bridge with the navigable waterway is designed to move within the display of the permit passage of the traffic over the waterway. Cab, the compartment of the locomotive from which the propelling power of the brakes or train are manually controlled. The characteristic for the operating of the measure of the electrical value of the electronically operated for the operator to drop away, pick up the maximum minimum current and working value. Chart dog, the diagrammatic representation, mechanical locking, interlocking machine with the working plan, make with the assembling, fitting of the locking circuit of the knowledge, circuit consisting of a wire with the conducting material that installed with the twin with the track rails, signal with the territory with the automatic track train stop system, cab signal system, continuous inductor type of the two indicating cab signal with insert with the enforcement acknowledgement by the engine man, each of the signal displaying an aspect requiring a stop. Circuit common and return with the term applied with the one wire U with the return more than one circuit. The control circuit control electrical circuit which when the source of the electrical energy in the device which operates circuit cut in the roadway circuit with the entrance of the automatic train stop of the train control cap of the signal territory that means the locomotive of the equipment of the continuous inductor type of the is also actuated with the B in the operative condition. Circuit double the wire line electrical circuit non-employing with a common wire return wire with the circuit in the form of the individual wires throughout the circuit shunt following the track circuit within the following section turn out connected multiple with the track circuit in the main track circuit switch shunting a shunting circuit which closed throughout the contact switch circuit control circuit track an electrical circuit of which the rails or track form apart circuit track of the track circuit with the energy is varied with interrupted periodically. Circuit trap, a term implied with the circuit used wherever the desire to provide with the track circuit, but where it is practical to maintain a track circuit with a cock double heading, manually operated hand valve means of the which the control of the brake operation transferred to leading locomotive, the coil receiver, connecting layers insulated wire around the core of the receiver, the automatic train stop of the train control or cab signal device on a locomotive, the control circuit with the device opening and closing electrical circuit with the control switch circuit, a device opening and closing electrical circuit with the operating with the rod connected to the switch of the derail move with a point of frog current and foreign term applied with the stated electrical currents which are may affect the signal system but which are not a part of the system. Current over the traffic of the movement over the train specified by the track of the design direction. Current leakage is stated electrical circuit current with a relatively small value of the flow through the aircraft. The strip of the insulation, one of the voltage impressed across the insulation cut section. Location of other signal location of the two adjoining track circuits within a block. Cut section relayed. Cut section where the energy from one track of the circuit is supplied throughout the front over the contact strip of the front and the polar contacts of the track relayed with the adjoining track track circuit, detector point, and circuit controller with the power of the switch operating mechanism operated by the rod control switch connected with a switch derail or move with the pointer frog indicating that the point is within specified distance of the stock rail device, acknowledging a manually operated electrical switch pneumatic valve by which means of the locomotive equipped with the automatic train stop with the train control device and the automatic brake application can be forestalled by which means the locomotive equipped with the automatic cab signal system, the sound of the cab indicator can be silenced, device reset with the device when whereby the brakes may be relieved the automatic train control brake application to a distance stop at the maximum distance of any portion of the railroad train operating such portion of the maximum authorized speed will travel during the full service of the application of the brakes between the point with the application of the initiated with the point where the train comes to a stop. Dog locking, steel block attached with the locking bar tapped with the interlocking machines by which the locking between the levers is accomplished. Dog swinging, locking device mounted with the touch of the manner with the free rotate with the trimming of the riveted locking bar element roadway, the portion of the roadway operators automatic train stop with the train control cab signal system, electrical circuit, inductor trip arm from which the locomotive apparatus such system is directly response face locking, locking surface locking, dog tap at the crossing, locking of the interlocking machine. Features restoring arrangement, electro-pneumatic switch with which the power is applied with the restore the switch, move with a full normal or full reverse position before driving the bar creeps sufficiently to unlock switch with the control level of the normal reverse position. Forestall is applied with the automatic train stop with the train control device, prevent automatic brake application operation with the acknowledgement of the device manual control speed with the operator train. Indication of the information conveyed by an aspect of the signal interlocking automatic arrangement signal with or without the signal application of the functions of the exercise inherent power of the distinguisher of the function of the control manually which are the interconnected by lanes electrical circuit with the removal that must see with the other with the proper sequence of the train moves overall routes being governed in signal indication interlocking manual arrangement of the signal appliance operated by interlocking machine so interlocked by the means of the mechanical or electronic locking of the movements that must succeed each other the proper sequence of the train moves overall of the routes being governed by indication joint rail insulated joint with electrical insulation provided with the joining of the rails limits interlocking the tracks between the opposing home signal with the interlocking line open wire with the overhead of the wire line consisting of a single conductors opposed with the multiple control conductor cables. Link rocker, the portion of the interlocking machine that transmits the motion between the latch for the universal link lock bolt. Mechanism, mechanical lock so arranged the switch to rail with the move of the point frog is not proper position. Train move with the signal governing the movement. It cannot be displayed with the aspects proceed that will prevent the movement of the switch of the derail move with the point flag unless the signal is displayed with the most restrictive speed. Lock electrical device for the prevent the restricted movement of the lever switch of the move of the bridge unless with the locking member of the withdrawal of the electrical device such as an electromagnet solenoid or motor. Lock electrical force drive electrical lock which of the drawing locking member is mechanically forced down to be locked position. Locking facing point. Mechanical lock of the switch derail movable point frog compromising plunge and stand and plunger with the engaged lock of the rod attached to the switch point to lock operated unit locking approach. Electrical locking effect with the trains approaching specified distance signal displaying aspect of the pursuit of the events until the after expiration predetermined interval such that the signal has been called with the display the most restricted aspect movement of any interlocked electrically locked switch move with the pointer frog of the derail route governed by the signal with which prevents the aspect of the proceed from being displayed for any conflicting route. Locking electrical with a combination of one or more electrical locks control circuit with the means of the levers for the interlocking machine switches or other irons operating connection signal interlocking secured against the operation under certain conditions. Locking indication electrical locks prevents the manipulation level that would result in unsafe condition. Train move with the signal switch their operative the unit fail to make the movement corresponding with that control level the which directly prevents operating signal switch or other operative unit in the case of the other unit should operate with the first fail to make the required movement. Locking latch operated. Mechanical locking of the interlocking machine, the actuated means of the lever latch. Locking lever operated mechanical locking, interlocking, which is actuated by means of the lever locking. Mechanical arrangement with locking bar, dog taps, cross locking, other apparatus means of the interlocking effective between levers interlocking machines so when they're connected with the movement that will exceed each other in predetermined order. Locking move with the bridge, rail locks, bridge locks, bolt locks, circuit controllers, electrical locks, with the providing interlocking protection with the move of the bridge, locking route, electrical lock, effective with the train with the pass with the signal displaying with the aspect for the proceed, prevents the movement of any switch point move with the point for over the or derail in advance for the train with the route is entered for the maybe destroyed range of the train clear the track section over the route, locking effective section is released. Method of locking either mechanical or electrically directly after the signal has been called, the display aspect of the proceed with events until the after the expiration predetermined time interval such that the signal has been called, the display with the most restricted aspect of the operation interlocked electrically locked switch move with a pointer for all the derail in the route governed by the signal which prevents aspect of the proceed for the being displayed within conflicting route locking traffic the electrical locking with the prevents manipulation level of the device with the chain of the direction of the traffic or section of the traffic section of the track wall of the section of the occupied with the signal display with the aspect of the movement of the proceeds into that section. The locomotive, a self-propelled unit with equipment which can be either the train or the machine control with the assemblage manual operated with the device control function with the traffic control system may include with the track diagram indication lights, manual interlocking assemblage of the manual operated levers, other devices control signal switches, other units moving conflict moving over the conflicting routes, moving facing the movement of the train over the points of switch for the direction opposite of that where the train is moving, movement of switch and lock the device, a complete operation switch to perform these three functions: unlocking, operating, locking a switch, and move with the point of with the derail, moving the trailing, moving the train over the points with the switch, over the phase of the direction in which the train is moving, the operating control, and employee with the sign with the operator with the control machine with the traffic control system, crank piece driving the crank secure with the locking shaft by means of the horizontal movement, the end part with the longitudinal locking bar, plate top, middle plate secure with the locking bracket, the prevent the cross locking the being forced out of the bracket, plunger and facing point of lock. This is the part of the facing point of the lock which secures the lock rod with the plunger stand. The switch is locked. Point control of the location where the signal and other function of the traffic control system are controlled with the control machine. Point stop indication applied with the automatic train stop. The train control system which the the roadway signals point with the signal displays and its aspect requiring stops where it would be located. Position assumed by moving the member of the electro-pneumatic device that is deprived of its operation that is position de-energized. Position falls to restrict the position sophomore arm that is more restrictive than it should be. Principal closed circuit. The principal circuit is designed where it's a normally energized electrical circuit, which if it is being interpreted as de-energized will cover the control function to assume it is the most restrictive condition. Protection cross. The arrangement will prevent improper operation signal switch of movable point frog derail resolve with the cross electrical circuit of the railroad. Railroad means any form of the non-highway ground transportation runs on rails electromagnetic guide whether that provides such transportation. Commuters or other short haul railroad passes over the metropolitan suburban area commuter railroad service was operated by the Consolidated Railway Corporation January 1st, 1979. High-speed ground transportation system connection over the metropolitan areas with regard whether the system the new technologies and solution traditional railroad does not include the rapid transit operation urban area not connected to general railroad system of transportation receiver a device of locomotive so placed so that its position influenced inductively actuated with the automatic train stop with train control and cab signal roadway element relay time relay which for not include the front contacts open back and contacts are both until the expiration of definite time intervals after the relay has been energized. Release time device used to prevent operation of any operative unit until the expiration of the predetermined time interval after the device has been actuated. Release value, the electrical value which the movable members of the electromagnetic device was moved in a de-energized portion. Reservoir, equalizing air reservoir connected with and adding volume with the top portion of the equalizing piston chamber with the automatic brake valve that provide uniform service of reductions in brake pipe pressure regardless of the length of the train. Rod and lock, attached with the front rod lug with the switch point, move with the point of frog derail with the roof of the locking plunger may ascend with the switching point derail in the normal reverse position. Rod up and down, rod U the connection sophomore and the arm of the operating mechanism of the signal route, the course of which course or way which is to be traveled. The routes conflicting, the two or more routes opposing, converging, intersecting with movements cannot be simultaneously without possibility of collision. Route interlock, the routes for the interlocking limited section dead, the section of the track E of the track circuits between the tracks, two track circuits of the rails of which are not part of the track circuit of the section, following the section of traffic between the switch point and clearance point and the turnout. Sheet locking, the description tablet from the locking operation interlocking machine shoe latch, or case casting by means of which the latch rod or latch block are held with the lever on a mechanical interlocking machine. Or a shunt bypass electrical circuit, sliding and auxiliary tracks meeting or passing on the train signal, approaching a road signal, either the governor approach with another signal with operative control with indication furnishes advanced information indication for the next signal block, roadway signal operated with the automatic manually with the entrance over the block signal cab, the signal located with the engine main compartment, or cab, indicating the condition and effect of the movement of the train, either the conjunction interlocking signal, the conjunction of the loop of the block signal, signal home, roadway signal entry within the route of the governed trail with entering with the route of the block, road signal interlocking roadway signal governs the movements of the width into or within the interlocking limited signal, opposing roadway signal with governed movements of the opposite of the direction of the same track, signal and slotted mechanical operated signal with the electromagnetic device inserted into the operating connection means of the controlling signal electricity as well with the mechanically spectral and sophomore arm, the part of sophomore arm which hold the rondelles to which the blade is fastened. Speed medium, and the speed is not exceeding 40 miles an hour. Speed restricted, speed with a permanent stop within 1/2 of the range of the vision, but not exceeding 24 miles an hour. Speed slow, speed not exceeding 20 miles an hour. State most restricted, the mode of the electric device of the equivalent of the track relay is de-energized position. Station control, the place where the control machine over the traffic control system is located. Stop, then apply mechanical locking device secure with the locking bar to limit its movement. Superiority of train precedence conferred with one train over the other train with the train over the by reason of the edge clap of the direction of movement. Switch electro-pneumatic, operated electro-pneumatic, switch lock movement, switch face point. Switch points with the face of the traffic approaching the direction from which the track is signals. Switch hand operated, non-interlocked switch can only be operated manually. Switch over the interlocking limits control of the interlock with the other function interlocking. Switch power operated, the switch operated with electrically, hydraulically, pneumatic driven switch and local movement. Switch and disconnecting section of the power line with source of energy. Switch sectionalization. Switch spring. A switch equipped with a spring device force of the points of the original position after the trail through the hole to the underspring compression. Switch and trailing point, switch of the points which face away with the traffic approaching the direction with the track signal system, automatic block system, block signal system where each block is governed by automatic block signal, cab signal, or both. System automatic train control system are so arranged with the operation automatic result of the following: a full circuit with the application of the brakes which continue either until the train is brought to the stop and under the control of the engine man, its speed is reduced to a predetermined rate. When the operation under the speed restriction and application of the brakes of the speed of the train exceed the predetermined rate, which for the continuing the speed is reduced to that rate. System automatic train stop system so arranged the operation will automatically resolve the application of the brakes until the train has been brought to a stop. Signal system block signal the method of the governing of the movements of the train into the within one or more blocks of the block signal, cab signal control system traffic control. Block signal under which of the train movement the authorized block signal the indication supersede of the superior or the train both of the opposing following movements of the same track. Terminal initial, the starting point of the locomotive of a trip. Time acknowledgement applied with the intermittent automatic train stop system. Predetermined time of the automatic brake application of the forestall being the acknowledgement device. Time delay is applied with the automatic train stop of the train controls of the time elapses after the onboard apparatus detects more of the restrictive indications for the brakes start to apply. Train a locomotive more than one locomotive coupled with or without cars. Train opposing the train movement of which is in the direction opposite of the toward another train on the same track. Trip. Movement of locomotive overall any of the automatic train stop with train control, cab signal territories between terminals from the locomotive movement in one direction. Trunking, a case used to protect electrical conductors. Trunnion, a cylindrical projection supporting a revolving part. Valve electro-pneumatic, valve electrically operated when the operated permit to prevent passage of air. Wire shunt, wire forming is part of a shunt circuit. This has been a signal and train control fundamentals, Title 49 CFR 236 Subpart G definitions end.